Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. This is a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Chris McGee, joined by Spectrum SportsNet Laker insider Mike Bresnahan. And this brings me a lot of joy, Lakers post-game host on ESPN LA 710. Also, one of the voices of boxing, a people's champion, an unbelievable follow on Instagram and Twitter, and one of my first friends, true story, that I ever had in this business, Brez, when I was just a young buck, if you can recall back to those days. Betito.
Yeah,
Beto
that's right.
Duran.
Yes, sir.
What up, Gee? What up, Brez? Thanks for having me here.
Beto,
You're
we
right.
were trying to figure it out with AJ, our boss, that we had not had you on the show in a long time.
It's I went, I was on free agent, a little
Yeah.
sabbatical.
agent.
You went overseas and played. Saw the G League. Saw a lot of basketball around the world, but it's good to be back in the NBA.
And during those 4 years, your son Mateo was playing at St. John Bosco,
Yeah.
which you were doing a lot of that stuff, and now
it's
he's back east in college playing his freshman year.
He's playing at a small Division III in New Jersey called Drew University. And one of the things that I did, and you'll learn this right now, Geet, because as much as we love the NBA, as much as you love the Lakers, the Dodgers, wherever you're at, you only have one chance to be the dad of a high school athlete.
It's crazy.
So when my son was playing at Bosco, it was like, hey, you take that vow of poverty not to work as much to make sure you're at every game. And then I was like the official mopper, like legit,
Come
like,
on.
dude, Brez.
That's
at
awesome.
Bosco home games, because for Catholic school, you have to do community hours.
Yeah.
So I would get the mop.
Oh, this is a true story. Yeah.
and
That's amazing.
And I would get it. That allowed me to get into the game for free, and also to mop. By mopping, I get my service hours. Boom. And
Yeah.
I'm staying away from all the crazy parents that are just yelling up and down.
And great seats. You're on the court.
Oh, I'm on the court.
Right by the basket.
So when somebody would
I mean, they won a
fall-
CF championship.
Yeah, they were a CIF champion, all that other stuff.
And then lost to Rob's son.
Yeah, they lost to Rob Ory.
Son, yeah.
Believe me, going to see Harvard or Westlake and Bosco play, and I'm in the corner by myself. And good friends of yours would see when you see Santa Margarita, and then you see Rob Ory, and people walk up. It's just we've seen some great Laker games, championship games, Orlando,
But
Boston, all that
it's
stuff.
nothing like.
When you see your kid out there on the floor, you're like, oh, and then Big Shot Rob was just like, you would see him being nervous, and it's just great. So, but yeah, let's move on. It's like, all right, now it's time to pay for the college.
You know what's funny is Jordan and I were meeting earlier to talk about this show, and we were at my desk, and I was telling him a story how, like, hey, I was just being honest. I'm like, I didn't see the game because, last night was state playoffs, so I got the night off. And what's funny is, having a couple adult beverages with some of the parents, and I'm walking in right at game time, and the guy who's collecting tickets, security guard's like, "We're getting killed tonight," and I freaked out. I thought the volleyball game had started. I thought he was talking about the volleyball game. And I was like pissed. I'm like, wait, what? They already started? And he's like, no, the Lakers. and I'm like, oh, we are? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's the score? He's like, we're getting killed. So I got in the stands and I checked, and we were getting killed. And I'm like, that's it. I'm not going to let it ruin my night. I'm not going to
Compartmentalize.
so I checked a couple more times. A couple buddies were like, are we really losing by 30? Yeah. So you guys are going to have to carry the show because you watch the game. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be back. Everybody's here is good. And Brez looks smooth, man.
I've been on the Geeter regimen, just kind of, working out, eating well. Geeter has more salads than most people I've ever met in my life. I mean, it's you have one tonight, probably.
You would think I'd actually be in good shape.
Well, because you're stressing at these volleyball games.
Yeah,
You're stress eating too.
I stress drink.
Right? That too. That helps.
Or just drink.
Stress eating. Yeah. Fantasy football and girls volleyball are the two biggest stresses in my life.
Yeah.
And then they'll throw the Lakers on there too because they stress the hell out of me also.
3 and
Stressing
5
big things.
Yeah.
So listen, here's the biggest headline, right? The Lakers lose their third straight. This one of the Rockets, 128-94. This game wasn't close from start to finish. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a game where we're all on the same team, and it's rank them. I don't know if you remember the shows. We used to rank them, right? So you got to rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to give you the 5 biggest issues. We got to collectively come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We might be a little different on some of these, okay? Because I know I am adamant about one of them. Okay, so first one, and this is no particular order. It's obviously injuries, right? Last night alone, no AD, no Jared Vanderbilt, no Gabe Vincent, no Jackson Hayes, okay? Second chance points allowed. I know that's a big one for Brez.
Yeah.
Last in the NBA at about 20 a game, a little over 19.
They're last now?
Yeah.
Last.
After last night's game.
And does that go hand in hand with defensive rebounding? Might as well.
Yeah, you could combine them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's do
Okay,
that.
you can combine them for sure, Brez. Okay, the next one. So we have injuries and we have the other one. First quarter woes.
Yeah.
Now, as I can tell, Beto lives this one. Honestly, guys, they're minus 74 in the first quarter. This is
only 74.
Listen to this, Beto. Through the first 8 games, since Dr. Naismith himself put up the peach basket, What year was that? Someone Google that.
It was like late 1800s.
But when they invented basketball,
went
this
to
is the
Naismith.
worst first quarter woes since they started basketball. So that means that team in 18, whatever,
Yeah.
they were better in the first quarter than LeBron James's teams.
That's got to be on the list.
Okay, it's on the list. This is one you
the
guys know
stats
I'm
geek-
big on.
The stats geeks love finding stuff like
I know.
that. But when they have to go back to the peach basket,
Then you know you're in trouble.
That's something.
3-point shooting. Last in the NBA.
Got to be on there.
Night number 1, I get a text from my brother, Matt McGee, that said, you told me we were going to be a good shooting team. I said, don't panic. We are a good shooting team. Stop texting me during the shows. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. It's our fault, Keith.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you know what? He's still texting me.
Come
I
on,
thought
Matt
you
McGee.
told me
don't do this.
that they were going to be a good shooting team. Well, they're not.
Yeah.
They're 29.6, and I just can't believe we're here again. But here we are, just like we were, 8 years ago. We're the worst in every category. This reminds me of the team that won 17 games. Like, that's how bad they are in these statistical categories. Now, are they that bad of a team? Of course not.
But at least that team was fun to cover.
Okay?
Right? Remember
Nick Young.
Nick Young?
Byron.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen. So, there are your choices. We have to collectively, as a group, come up with it. Can I just say this
okay.
to start?
Wow.
Can we just go with injuries as one? Does everyone agree? Like, when you're missing 6 guys in rotation or 5 guys, are you okay with that?
Yeah. And here's why.
Okay.
I thought Rui had the best quote of the night, kind of encapsulating what happened. Good to have him back, by the way. He missed 4 games with a
We will talk about
concussion
that later,
protocol.
too.
Yeah, no doubt. But I thought he had a really good point. He said, you know what? It's like there's a trade every day because we have different people in and out of these lineups. So I really do think injuries need to be number one because are the Lakers down 30 whatever points in the fourth quarter to Houston? If everybody's healthy, absolutely not. So yeah, injuries have to be number one, and then you kind of build a list from there. That's what I would vote for.
That's a given. Injuries number one.
Yeah.
Last night against Houston, you're warming up and you see AD out there. Oh, okay, he's warming up. Hey, game starts. AD's going back into street clothes. Like,
Were you surprised that he didn't play in that one? Or could you tell when you
I'm kind of glad he didn't.
Yeah.
Because a dude like that with his injury history,
Yeah.
your time.
Just take your time because everybody, when they get hurt, right? It's like, I'll be back in a couple of days. And then you wake up the next day and then you warm up and you get going. For an NBA guy to warm up like that, that means he thought he could go. And then realizing that something's not firing, be smart about it.
So
I'm okay with him
You don't
not
think
playing.
it's going to be a 4-week injury? You're not panicking in that regard. You're thinking this could take a few days. It's okay to take a game or two.
If I would have been more concerned if he would have played and then they shut him down during the game, or he doesn't play on Friday.
You're right.
And it's like, wait a minute.
You're right.
The precaution, I'm okay with that. But injuries, without a doubt, that's number one because everybody wants to get mad
gotta
about
be.
everything else. But if you don't have the bodies,
Yeah.
and it's not just AD, it's the guys we haven't even seen yet. No Vanderbilt yet. No Gabe Vincent yet. Like, I forget. I confuse the injuries now because, like, wait, who has what? Who's got this? Who's got
Yeah,
that?
and then there was a Jackson Hayes, and there was a
Oh, yeah,
concussion.
Jackson Hayes.
For Rui. Okay, so you pitch your number 2, then you pitch your number 2, and then we'll make a decision.
I think number 2, we've got to go with 3-point shooting. And here's why. I feel your brother's pain. Like during the preseason,
Matt McGee.
I mean, Matt, I'm sorry, Matt, this is kind of my fault because during the preseason, the Lakers shot really well.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin Reeves.
He's a very loyal brother. He actually watched the preseason shows, I believe.
Yeah. So I feel partially responsible.
Yeah.
And first of all, I like the way they finished the season too with their shooting. You know, Rui almost 50%, Austin Reeves comfortably over 40% from 3-point range. Then you add a guy like Taurean Prince who wants to be over 40% from 3-point range and has in his past in a season or two. I'm like, yeah, this is going to work. Okay. And it hasn't.
Okay.
And so I think 3-point shooting just for the biggest whiff so far.
And it's they're 30th.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like I take accountability for part of it. Yeah. Maybe we all should. The people that were on our pre and post game shows in the preseason.
Under 30 for the season, right?
Yeah. So I think shooting's got to be the number 2 because I really thought they fixed it. I really did.
What's your number 2?
Let me get this microphone really close to me because just like the
Beto's
shooting,
leaning in.
it's in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shooting, I'm not as concerned with 3-point shooting because shoot or shoot, eventually the number's going to figure out for themselves.
Regression to the mean, you're
Yeah.
thinking, or progression to the mean.
That's
in this
very
case.
smart right there. That's did Matt
what he
McGee
does.
text you that?
I
That's
probably,
what he does.
yeah.
That's what he does.
But I'm concerned with the rebounding, like the offensive boards that they're giving up.
Yeah.
They're, mind you, no AD, no Jackson Hayes. The big guys aren't in there. But the rebounding, it's effort because every single night you go and you read the stats. Like on the postgame show, we have to read a sponsored for Point to the Paint. And I've been looking at it. I'm like, all right, Point to the Paint. And I say it. I say the number. I read the sponsor, and I move on. I don't elaborate because it's ugly every single night. the points in the paint and the offensive rebounding differential. Like, that's where I'm concerned, because you got to get the body in there, the effort in there. Look, heck, if you're going to offensive rebound and give it up, foul the dude or something. Like, it's too easy for visiting teams to know that they can come in and just grab a board no matter what. So I think the rebounding is my number 2 concern.
I had one other one, too, was 0-5 on the road. I forgot to give that
that's a problem.
one. It's a problem, but probably not debating for number 2.
You know what's weird about that stat? It sounds really bad. It's only the 3rd time in the Laker history that they've been 0-5 on the road to start the season.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, when else did this happen? It happened last year as well.
It's hard to rank
So you can't get too cracked up about that
use
one.
that stat.
By the way, it's hard, it's hard to rank these as a team because they're all bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, neither of us made a case for the first quarter, but man, that's a bad one too. But I guess I can put that one lower because they haven't been healthy.
Yeah.
So maybe we can bump that one down. And I guess it's going to come between second chance points and 3-point shooting. What do you think? Are you able to move off of that one? Or are you okay with going with shooting?
I could, but I would ask you, what would Matt McGee think? Like what
shooting?
You know?
Are you okay with going to? We're doing this for my brother. We're going.
You know what?
3-point
For the
shooting
McGee
number
family.
2.
You know what? Because what Brez said at the end of how the end of the preseason, mind you, it's only preseason,
Right.
but I remember doing a post-game show like, hey, the Lakers 3-point shooting this year should be good.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, if he shoots 6 times 3-pointer, let's go.
That too. I
I
forgot
mean, we
about
were
that.
really lighting it up.
And it's also the modern NBA.
We had 9 guys making them.
Yeah,
10
I'm
guys
going to go with Brez.
It-
I'm going to change it up. Because
It's just dovetailing of how they finished the season, shooting really well from deep too.
Okay.
That coupled with the preseason, and now this start, 8 games in, I'm like, did not see that.
and it's the
coming.
modern NBA, and it's also you're missing wide open shots.
But
Yeah,
and
we
it's
agree.
guys are
okay, so
tentative.
we're
So-
starting to really be a good team.
Yeah.
We're agreeing. And by the way, you're playing this hopefully in your car, listening to us. We've listed them all. You can rank them as well. We're going injuries number 1. That is an absolute. We're in agreement there.
Sure. It's got to start
Decided
there.
to come together on 3-point shooting.
Okay.
That means we can slide second chance points
Okay.
to number 3. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Here comes an interesting one. First quarter woes, 0-5 on the road. Where are we on that?
I think the first quarter woes, and it's confusing. Beto, remember the third quarter woes last year?
Yeah.
Like, that was weird to begin with. And it's like, okay, that was a theme throughout the season till the playoffs.
That was did they go eat at halftime? Did they go to the chairman's?
Yeah.
What happened
Yeah,
here?
it's like, do we need to drink some coffee at halftime?
Yeah.
You know, how can we get the energy up at the third quarter? And now it's flipped to the first quarter. And the Lakers are actually much better in the second half. You got to throw out the Houston game, obviously, but you know, I was at that Clipper game. That was a fun game to be at.
Yep.
They closed really well in that fourth quarter and obviously won it in overtime. Paul George, thank you for fouling out, 1.5 minutes into OT. But I think, like I said, 0-5 on the road doesn't bother me because it just happened a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now different personnel, obviously.
First
But they're-
quarter bothers you.
I think first quarter. Yeah, that would be my vote for 4.
If
but-
this was which one bothers you the most, I'd actually go with Beto's choice of second chance points because you did mention a word that irks me, and that's effort. But I do believe the effort could be fixed. 3-point shooting, if it's not fixed, it's going to be the longest year of our lives. So right now we got injuries, 3-point shooting, second chance points. You want to go with the first quarter
First quarter
starts
woes.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if there were no injuries, I'd
Worst
put that first.
since
Yeah.
Dr. Naismith put
Because-
up the little. Well, first he put like a shoebox box thing, and then he went with a peach basket.
Then he
I
fixed
I
know
it.
made
that
that up,
history.
but that's
That sounds
sounds
good. That sounds
probably
good.
what probably
Don't let
happened.
the details get in the way.
1891 was the year.
Do you have
What
like
are
a
we
cousin who works at the Basketball Hall of Fame? Like, how do you know all this?
That's a great research
said it
staff
was
you
a
got going on.
Foot Locker shoebox. Like we used
Foot
to
Locker
put
was
our
around back then.
hang in our doorways.
The first quarter woes is the big concern
That was
because
Dave. Dave. That was funny, Dave.
yeah, because
Dave.
the first quarter woes, you look at it, it goes back to the effort. Like I've yet to see a game where the Lakers score first, right?
Yeah.
And if they do, they might score, and the next thing you know, it's 10-2. There's always a quick run. It's always a quick burst. And that's if you're a Laker fan who goes to a game at Crypto, by the time you sit down, you look up, they're losing.
You gotta
Think
get
about you
there on
guys.
time.
You guys do your pregame show, right? Big game, Rob, everybody's here. You get done. By the time you leave the set to go back to the conference room to settle down, what happened? You're asking the producers who scored what you got to play catch up. So the players have to play catch up, and then you're looking around. And you're like, guys, make one stop, do something, or don't just jack up a 3 right away with like 18 on the shot clock. Run an offensive set
Correct.
once.
Beto, I don't think they've had a lead at halftime this year.
No,
No, I don't think they have. No, I think you're right. Yeah.
They haven't had a lead at halftime.
Yeah.
no. And
And
then
a lot of that is because of their first quarters.
but also
the
when
first quarter is actually worse than the second.
Yeah.
how many jokes have you guys made here in the conference room at the end of the first quarter? Hey, single digits.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like, okay, we're in this.
It used to be a joke. Now it's, hey, all right, good. We're battling, guys.
Geet, Geet, I like what Beto's saying. I think that is the fourth because from an annoyance perspective, like he's right. We're transitioning from the studio here to the conference room down the hall. And sometimes we have catering. Most of the times we have nice catering.
Yeah.
Nothing too fancy. It's not like it's a catch or anything like that, but it's very lovely. And just from the annoyance factor, Geet, you and James and maybe Rob, we're all kind of getting our food together. We're like, you sit down, finally you're settled in. And you're right, Beto. It's like 9-1. Like, what just happened while I was getting my turkey and my
the problem with
salad?
that is you have to focus on the game now, and you take away from the food. Because you shouldn't be talking about the first 3 minutes of the game in the post game of like we got smoked right away.
Right.
You should be focusing on, okay, what's the side do we got? Are there cookies there? Are there brownies? Who brought what?
Yeah, no.
I'm upset
and that's
for you
important
guys.
stuff too.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm going to, okay, we have our order.
Somebody
You guys
take care
did
of
a
the
nice job
producers.
of ranking. You guys did a nice job ranking. Now I'm going to try to look at some of the bright side of things.
Let's do that too.
3 and 5 is not 2 and 10.
Right. Yep. Could be worse.
But-
Really?
I know. It hurt me to do that one first, but I feel like I just wanted to start off with that one.
I better be
3 and
careful
5
if I want to
scales
get
out
invited back.
to-
Listen,
It's my first time in 6 years. I got to be careful here.
3 and
This is a
5.
new show for me.
3 and 10 is going to really suck. But 3 and 5 is not 2 and 10.
Correct.
Okay, I'll
3
give
and
you that
5
one.
scales out to 6 and 10. There you go. It's quick math.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So it's not great.
Hey, at least
But-
they're not 2 and 6.
Yeah, and hey,
They're
let's
not 1 and 7.
not forget.
Heyo.
Let's not forget their first 10 games are very tough. We looked
They
at
were,
the schedule
they
when
were.
it came out. It's like, 6 of their first 9 on the road. Okay, that's no fun. And it's just
And there's a
tough
Miami
teams.
game in there where you're going to lose no matter what.
Miami, 2 games against Phoenix.
Yeah. You
they-
get the Miami day off. I mean, the entire NBA has lost in Miami.
You know,
Don't
I
worry
think
about that.
what,
Miami is Vegas on the sand. That's
Correct.
what I call it. Yeah.
excuse me, that's my
Come
phone.
on, Matt
your brother?
McGee.
See.
Matt McGee, what are you doing? He's complaining about the 3-point shooting, isn't he?
He knows
is.
before the podcast even been uploaded that
Yeah.
it's
Geeter put it on airplane
Probably
mode.
panicking
Matt
about
McGee
some
gets
fantasy
through.
football thing right there. Listen,
cool ringer, by the way.
I think we're all frustrated because of number one.
Yeah.
The injuries have everybody's got them,
Yep.
but it just seems like it's a broken record. And I don't want to lead every single show and every single post game show and every non-game night show with, well, the shorthanded Lakers or they battled but they came up short and were missing 5 guys in rotation and D'Lo gets kicked out so it's 6 guys in rotation. So that I think is becoming really frustrating. I kind of want to put that off to the
But it's
side and just
reality,
focus
though,
on
Gee.
the reality. Let's focus on the reality. So we'll talk about what they haven't been good at, which we just did. And here's another bright spot, Rui. Like they've missed Rui when he was out with that concussion. And Beto, how positive of a sign is it to see him getting it going? Last night he had 24, 10 of 14. Just in terms of that, like, they've really lacked that punch off the bench. Rui has to be that
You know
guy.
what I liked about Rui, Brez, is he returns, and if you have a guy who's come back from a concussion, remember, at first it was a scratch. Then it
Right.
was like, he got poked in the eye.
Yeah.
Oh, some redness. Now it's concussion protocol. And then once you're in the protocol, you're going to have to miss a certain amount of games. What I liked yesterday is that Rui saw an opening and took it. He didn't wait for D'Lo to find the ball or whatever. If he had it and he saw an opening in the space, he went and got it. He got his points. And then you're like, okay, guys, if Rui's playing this hard, somebody else, let's go. Like Rui appreciates wearing the purple and gold.
I agree.
And he goes and he wants to be that guy. He wants to step up. He could have easily just mailed it in too because, hey, I'm back from a concussion. I'm still a little foggy. I don't know what's going on. And then we talked to him in the postgame, the media-wise, and he's giving the best quotes. He's the
great.
one doing this. Like,
Listen, he had a slow start to the season. He's going to have a great year. I'm standing by it.
absolutely.
They have to have him have a great year. He
Absolutely.
has to have, and he's going to.
He needs to have more minutes, and he has to have a bigger impact, especially
agree.
right now when Reeves is cold, when everybody is off to the side. Rui's like he's going to be a dude.
I agree.
I like that attitude.
I wondered aloud on the postgame show last night, maybe he should be a guy who should be starting.
Hey,
With Torian being up and down.
Yep.
Jared Vanderbilt still don't have a firm timetable on him. Hopefully finding out more info in a couple days because that 2-week evaluation period is almost up. But Rui's a guy who could be an offensive threat. And does he have Vanderbilt's defense? Obviously not. But I think he's improved in that area. And that's why, Geet, I'm not as concerned about number 4 on our list, which was the slow first quarters, because you can tinker with that lineup and try to get someone in there maybe more offensively inclined
I think I do something
to
with
boost
it,
you
right?
a little bit.
Like more Rui, somehow, some way, more Rui's got to play more.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can't get buried anymore.
So AD questionable, Jackson Hayes questionable, Vando out, Vincent out. I want to say this. The 3-game homestand starts next Sunday. 6 of the next 8 games are at home. So maybe bright days are ahead. You got the 3-5 Blazers twice, the 1-7 Grizzlies, and the 2-7 Jazz. So can they right this ship, Brez?
Yeah, I like that. Thanks for that. Because like we just said, the first 10 were tough, no doubt about it. They did get lucky that Phoenix did not have Bradley Beal in that game a week or two ago, because that, they could be 2-6.
And no Booker either.
And no Booker, thank you. Those guys are now back, so Friday should be interesting. First in-season tournament game as well for the Lakers.
New court.
Yeah. Got to see these
the
courts.
Laker court.
It's supposed to be very purple. That's what Director
Is it a
Bergen
purple
said.
one?
Yeah, I think so. But what was the question again? I'm just riffing.
Right, just righting the ship. Like I just
yeah,
right the ship.
Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
They can, because when you have injuries, you can't be flying your dudes all over the country on that plane trying to get treatment. So you're at home. You know that you can get the treatment at your facility. You know you're going to have whatever you need. You need to get guys healthy. And also Darvin Ham and his coaching staff can actually run through a practice, or maybe walk through a practice at this point when you have limited bodies. But to know that we can work on certain things without having to be rushed of what we're going to do. The schedule is going to help them out, because some of those bad teams, right, they're having bad records. So they can find things. And you're not going to have an AD who's hopefully an injury that's lingering. Hopefully he figures things out. They haven't even said what it is, right? It's a hip, but we don't really know what it is. It's like the NFL, like in hockey, right? A lower body injury, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You covered hockey, when they would give you upper body, lower body. Okay, he's hurt.
Yeah. All we've got is
kind of
hip
non-contact, right?
Yeah, the non-contact.
Yeah, didn't like seeing it at all.
All right, Lakeshow fans, remember, you can be a part of this show each week. Feel free to send us your questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, bucket or brick Beto style. Welcome back to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play. Time now for Bucket or Brick, presented by Jack in the Box. I'm going to let Brez go first so Beto can see how it's done. Brez,
It's really hard to pick up.
be a good example.
Really.
Philly is 6-1 after beating Boston. Bucket or brick? The Sixers are title contenders. And you can speak freely. Trainer is not producing this one toward us.
I'm going to break this one. I think Tyrese Maxey is probably the most improved player. I just don't see how they keep it up. I appreciate what Embiid's doing. He's scoring like 48 points, 39 rebounds, and 22 assists every game, and he's absolutely carrying them. I like Maxey. You got Tobias Harris there, but where's the depth? I mean, if someone goes down, I'm not buying it yet. But kudos to them for shrugging it all off and being 6-1. I didn't even realize that, Geet. That's impressive.
6-1.
Yeah.
Beat Boston. Bucket or brick? Sixers are title contenders.
You said title.
Title contenders.
Okay. Come on, man.
You go brick?
Yeah, brick all day. 6-1 and you're title contenders. All right. Okay. Are they Eastern Conference contenders? Then I would give you a bucket, right? But title
Tell you
contenders?
what, Beto, smart man. You got to listen to what it is, because if I said Eastern Conference, that's different than title.
We're gonna bucket with
Okay.
title.
If you said Atlantic Division contender, do they even have those in
then
there?
we're shooting all day.
Nuggets are 8-1 after beating the Warriors. Bucket or brick? Even though Brez's Vegas doesn't have them as the favorites, would you take the Nuggets over the field to win the championship right now? Bucket or brick?
Oh, Nuggets or the field? Man, I'm a degenerate. The odds got to be pretty good. I'm going to go bucket with that one.
Wow.
I'm going to go with the bucket with that one.
Take the
Taking
Nuggets.
them
I'll
right
take
back.
the Nuggets because
You get good odds.
you get good odds.
and
And
they're
also,
the best team.
did you see Joker the other day grab the box score, and instead of taking questions, he tells the Denver media, all right, I already know what you guys are going to ask.
Yeah.
So he answered all the questions.
It was so great.
He's like, okay, he had a good game. He had this game. And his attitude of like, I don't care about anything right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that there's pressure on them.
You know what sucks? Is that they're not getting any respect, so they're just going to mow everyone down.
Yeah.
Like, can we please start like understanding that they won the championship and like start treating them maybe extra special so they can take the foot off their gas a little bit?
For their show?
Yeah, maybe they'll get a hangover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuggets are 8-1, Brez. You would take the Nuggets over the field to win the championship right now.
You know, I really underestimated them. I know on our show, though, I talked a lot about they lose Bruce Brown. What are they going to do? I'm still breaking it though.
Yeah.
I still think the field is good
Field's
teams.
tough.
Yeah.
Boston, Milwaukee, Golden State's playing good basketball right now. If the Lakers can get healthy, we'll see what they
Yeah,
can
the field's
do.
a lot of teams, 29 other teams.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's good odds, right?
I'm going to go with the field. It's bad odds probably, but yeah, I'm going to go with the field. I just feel like there's too much. There's too many good. There's at least a half dozen other title contending teams, not including the Sixers, though. Sorry, guys.
Clippers are
Poor Sixers.
Still
taking
not including them.
little strays here.
Clippers are 0-2 with James Harden. Lost to the Nets with 4 of Brooklyn's rotation players out. Bucket or brick. The Clippers are in actually more trouble than the Lakers, Brett.
Yeah, I'm gonna bucket this actually. Look, they had to make this trade. They gave up a bunch of guys on expiring contracts, and that's what they were, a bunch of guys, like backups. The 2028 unprotected first-round pick could come back to haunt them. That's 5 years from now. They had to do this trade. I don't know about the chemistry, though. I feel like Russell Westbrook was finally like, okay, I'm kind of helping run a team again. Got his confidence back, or whatever he lost in his year and a half here that was completely disastrous for him and hurt the Lakers as a team, too. And then what happens? There's a new point guard in town. And right now they're playing those two guys together, starters in the backcourt. I don't know how you can, but wow, those first 2 games, absolutely uninspiring. And they can't blame injuries, Geet.
Yeah.
This is their team, Beto. And maybe they figure it out. But right now I'm bricking that.
Bucket or brick.
I'm going to go bucket with them, and I'm going to shoot over there.
Yeah, I guess I did bucket it.
The reason I'm going bucket is because they're healthy.
Yep.
They got PG,
Yeah,
who's in a good zone. They can figure that out, and they're healthy. It's just
They're healthy.
They're
period.
healthy, and the reason the concern is more on the Lakers side. The question is about the concern. You told me to listen closely, right?
Yeah.
So I would say the Clippers are going to figure this out. They have too much talent. They're going to figure. And then you see Russell Westbrook, he realizing the way you said it, he lost a year and a half with that attitude kind of thing.
Yep.
It's the last run for both of these guys as premier players in the NBA. They got to make it happen. So right now they're in better shape than the Lakers because they're healthy.
T-Wolves are 5-2. Anthony Edwards is going off 28-6-5, 50-40-80 splits. Bucket or brick. Ant-Man is the best shooting guard in the NBA.
Oh.
Oh.
Best shooting guard in the NBA.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm going to go bucket. And hopefully I'm...
You know, there's D-Book, there's Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I still think of Paul George as shooting guard. You know, he's kind of a 3 wing, but
yeah, I'm going to go with that one. I like that one right now. Anthony Edwards, like, if you follow him on his social media, the guys that are around him, the way he works out in the offseason, what he's been doing. And also, when you're in Minnesota, you're going to get the rock like that. You're going to be able to do whatever you want. I like him. So on the premise of your question, best shooting guard right now, I'll take him.
I'm going to break it. I'm still going to go with Booker, and I think he's permanently on my most improved team. I still go back to several summers ago, that video that leaked out where he's like, "Why are you double teaming me? It's summer league. What are you doing?"
I love the voice.
You know,
I love the voice.
He fell to like my 30th favorite shooting guard after that. But I'll tell you what, he has earned my respect, and I still think he's the guy. He's been a little dinged up to start the season. I want to see more from Anthony Edwards in a year or two.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. But I'm going to stick with Book for now, just because he's come so long. He's come from such a low place on my list.
Hey, how does he sound when in that video?
Stop double teaming me. It's summertime. It's a workout.
you got to do this when Bergen, one of our other directors, he's a
Bergen's
big
not even
Suns
here.
fan. When he's here, I would like to see just what that would do to him, because that was pretty good by you. I've never heard you do that.
He will cut my mic. Like he, as a director of the show,
Jen won't.
Thank you, Jen.
Right.
Good job.
Go Booker, man. Go with the
Lakers
Mets.
have
All
their
right.
first
Will you send Bergen that
in-season
Clifton?
tournament game coming up against the Phoenix Suns. Very
Yeah.
exciting. Bucket of brick. Scale to 1 to 10. Brez, your excitement level to see the Lakers' first in-tournament games over 5 right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna bucket this.
Yeah, you are.
It's starting to climb.
Okay, good.
It was a little low when this was first announced earlier in the year
Now
or
you're
last
excited.
year, and I was like, huh. But I remember having the same feeling for
Your
for
boss wants you to be excited, just so you know.
Yeah, okay, well, good. Well, I
Good. So,
did. I
yeah,
made
you
the right
just-
call.
You just made him happy.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same feelings about the play-in tournament. I'm like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
This is a shtick. This is a gimmick. I love the play-in tournament. I mean, 4 teams fighting for 2 spots in each conference. I'm all in on that.
You're all in.
Yeah. So I hope this is like that. Obviously, not the quite same do or die at stake, but yeah, I'm growing rapidly on the in-season tournament.
So usually when you get older, you become the salty guy, and so don't ever do this. Back in my day, I'm realizing I think I'm getting older. I don't care about this.
But you know what? It goes on your record.
No,
so
I don't care about the people who are upset about it. I'm all for it. I love the courts.
Fuck it.
I love
bucket it. Yeah.
the tournament. And fuck it.
Beto's all in.
I'm all in. Here's why. Because the dudes are making money. And if you're a guy, like the coaches are going to get $500,000 if you win this, right? The winning coach gets $500,000, second place gets like $250,000. But the dudes that are in the NBA that are towards the end of the bench, who might just be a rotational guy, if they can get to Vegas and make some extra money. Now, like the LeBrons and the ADs, the guys making hundreds of millions.
They've also promised to send us and do our show from there if they make the final.
I love that.
Oh, let's go.
That's huge.
We love the tournament.
We all get a cut of the
real?
winnings.
Let's go. But the reason I
that's
like it is because anytime you do something different, you're always going to get the resistance, right? Just like you said about the playing tournament.
Playing tournament.
But you know who likes this? Kids. Kids are actually asking about, hey, what's this going on? Because we all hate the courts, right? But if you look at the court, like,
I've had a lot of texts lately about it.
Yeah, everybody hates the court.
To me? So I've tried to explain it.
They also hate it when they have. Remember when the Lakers would get a third jersey? Oh, they can't be wearing a third jersey.
Right.
Now there's like 8 different jerseys.
Yeah, and everyone loves them.
Everything new is hated right away. But I like the playing tournament because it makes us talk about a game that on a Friday night against Phoenix. Are we really going to get excited? Nah.
Yeah. How about
but
the
now?
one? Yeah. How about the one next Tuesday against Memphis? Like you said, they are off to a very bad start. That's another playing tournament game. So, sorry, in-season tournament game. So, you know, that's doing exactly what you said. A weird game that with a struggling team, maybe even teams, it's worth something now.
Guys, you did a great job. Welcome back, Beto.
Yeah.
We got to get ready because we have another show tonight.
Oh, we do?
It's actually going to be on TV. This is the podcast.
Yeah, you don't get to go home, Beto.
Oh.
Thanks for listening to Lake Show Podcast presented by Jack in the Box. If you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. We want to hear from you, so send us your questions. Hit us up. Duran Sports at Geeter3, Mike _Bresnahan on Twitter. Until next week.